Well, I'm talking today about the power of fasting and prayer. And this is the first part of an 8-part series. Now, these messages are going to be very brief. You can listen to them or watch them. But as you go through these, as you're preparing to fast, or maybe even as you're on a fast, this is going to help you and help you to understand what you're doing, and also give you some practical tips on how to actually go forward with your fast. Now, my big desire here is that you gain a passion to fast and pray. I want you to really crave to see the hand of God move in your life, in your family, in your church, on the workplace, at your school, in your company, wherever you are. And it's really not an issue of whether or not you should fast and pray. Really, it's more of an issue of using the powerful tool of fasting and prayer that God has given us and using it appropriately. And that's what this series is about. Now, during Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, he said these 3 words. Matthew 6:5, he said, "When you pray." And so then he went on to talk about how to use prayer effectively. So Jesus left no doubt to his hearers that prayer is important. And I think all of us would agree on that. Now, a few verses later in his same sermon, Jesus says 3 other words. He says in Matthew 6:16, "When you fast." Now, this leaves us no doubt that it is a normal expectation of God that we fast. Jesus didn't say if you fast or if you feel like fasting, but he said when you fast, just like when you pray. So when Jesus was sharing this original message, it was understood that fasting and prayer go together. It's just something that we believers should do. I know fasting is not necessarily fun because no one likes to be hungry. And I'll be the first to admit I don't like being hungry. But fasting forces me to exercise my will and to strengthen my will and resolve to tell my physical body that this is a spiritual fast and results are going to come from it. And the results that are going to come from a spiritual fast are more important than food. You see, fasting is discipline. But I believe that God uses fasting to help us to learn to exercise our will over our bodies. And if we can really successfully do this during fasting, then how much more will we be able to exercise our will over our body when our body wants to do one thing, but we know we shouldn't? So if you can say no to food when your hunger pang comes, then you'll be able to say no to temptation when it comes your way as well. And I also believe that when you intermingle heavy doses of prayer with fasting, that your spiritual sensitivity is increased and you're going to hear God better. You're going to hear God, his direction for your life. Now, I'm a pastor and you know my heart for you. I want your life to count. I want your life to make an impact, but I also want my life to count. I want my life to make an impact because I don't want to get to the end of my life and realize that there was so much more that the Lord had in mind for me to accomplish, but I sabotaged his plans for me because I didn't engage the spiritual power that was actually available because I didn't fast and pray like I could have. It's expected of us as believers. So that's why I look forward to seasons of fasting and prayer in my life, and I hope you will begin to do so as well, because during times of fasting and prayer, I can lay hold of the dreams that God has put on my heart and the dreams God has for you. And I believe that those dreams for you, that God has for you, you're going to lay hold of those, and it's going to begin to burst in your own heart. I've seen huge breakthroughs in my life through fasting and prayer. I began this when I was 18 years old, and I've practiced fasting and prayer in a variety of different ways all of my life. And I'll tell you, it has always produced results. Great, powerful, spiritual results. I know there are physical benefits to fasting. Great, that's fine. You can study up on that on your own. I know about that. You do as well. But I don't do these times of fasting for the physical benefits. That's not my goal because that is so temporal. I'm looking for the spiritual benefits, and that's what I want you to look forward to as well. Well, God bless you, and I encourage you to be strong in the Lord and let prayer and fasting become a normal part of who you are.